This is Kilimanjaro. At 19,340 feet, Kilimanjaro is the tallest freestanding mountain in the world. And with climates ranging from tropical to Arctic, and landscapes from moorlands to glaciers, there's no other place or climb like it on Earth. Conquering Mount Kilimanjaro is a daunting task for anyone. The climb is a test of physical and mental endurance and an adventure dominated by the mountain's climate. This is Bonner Paddock. He has launched an expedition to climb Mount Kilimanjaro.
Came up with this expedition to start raising funds to build a center in Orange County for kids with disabilities. Kilimanjaro is a tough climb, but for me it'll be tougher. With cerebral palsy, I think it's going to be a much more difficult challenge than for someone that's quote-unquote normal. When I was born, the umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck, so I couldn't get any oxygen into my brain during the first critical minutes of my life.
He was only an infant when his parents began to notice signs that his physical development was not normal. His toes curled under and inward, and he had trouble walking and maintaining his balance.
I found out when I was 11 years old I had cerebral palsy. Part of my brain that controls the equilibrium or controls the body to balance is non-functioning. I never thought I'd be doing something crazy like this. But a few years ago, I went through this intense experience. I signed up to run a half marathon for United Cerebral Palsy, and it was brutal.
At the time, Bonner did not expect his work with UCP to become a big part of his life. But then he met a very special boy.
When you get to the top, is there someone in particular you'll be thinking about?
Yeah, I'll probably think about Jake. Jake was a little boy that had CP. I ended up running with Jake's dad, Steve, and even though Jake can't walk or talk, Steve would keep saying he knows his son understands what he's doing for him today. I was shocked by what happened later.
That night, Jake died in his sleep.
I got the call that he had died in his sleep, and I just told myself right then and there that I was going to do everything in the rest of my life, that this would never happen to another kid.
A year after Jake's passing, Bonner announced that he would climb Kilimanjaro as part of a public campaign to raise not only awareness, but also funds. Funds to build a center for children with disabilities in the community where he and Jake grew up.
So I want to help all of the other Jakes that are still here with us and give them as best chance as they can.
A center that would allow you to get comprehensive care for these children could make a difference between somebody becoming wheelchair-bound or somebody being able to walk.
It's bringing all the services to a one-stop shop so that they can get everything that they need every day instead of getting it once a week.
Cerebral palsy is most commonly caused during pregnancy or birth when the brain is deprived of oxygen, usually resulting in weakened or non-functioning motor skills.
In the intensive therapy, they're like, nope, we're not gonna swing on the swing until you pick your head up. You know, it's kind of like, okay, we're not doing anything until you're able to come and put your effort in.
1, 2, watch it.
It gets in their mindset that, no, okay, maybe I can't do it today, but I'm gonna continue to work at it and I don't want anybody's help, and then I'm gonna be able to do it myself, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe next month.
To ensure that he makes it to the summit of Mount Kili, Bonner has taken on an intense training regimen for the past year.
I am definitely not a mountain climber. I have said that from day one. I will continue to say that I'm not a mountain climber. I prefer the beach with a nice drink, extra umbrellas. I don't even care. Before we go to Africa, we're going to be meeting with a CP specialist to even see if this is going to be possible.
So that's just a very light tap, and you can see how we have that exaggerated, really spastic knee-jerk response. You can see the clonus in the foot, how it continues to beat. with the abnormal muscles and the weakness and some of the lack of range of motion. I'm really concerned about your safety when you're going up these, steep climbs at nighttime. One long slip and fall, I mean, we're talking about major problems, death.
With only 1 month left to train, Bonner is facing his most difficult test yet, climbing Mount Whitney, the tallest peak in the lower 48 states, in just 1 day.
I'm feeling excited but very nervous. I hope the balance issues don't come up in the dark, and I hope the legs and lower half hold up all the way through.
At 22 miles, 14,500 feet, Mount Whitney is just 1/3 the distance and 2/3 the height of Kilimanjaro. Cerebral palsy weakens the motor skills for Bonner's lower half, so he compensates by using his upper body to pull his legs forward. This causes inflammation and deep bone bruising and a serious amount of pain.
I think I'm at the summit. It's pretty cool. I'm definitely worried because the pain that I'm starting to feel in my feet is like a burning pain, and I'm starting to feel it around my ankles.
In the days following the climb, it appears that Whitney may have beat Bonner after all. The climb has badly damaged his feet and legs.
Good to see you. Good to see you. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. As soon as I even creak any which way, it's just like sheer pain and soreness. It starts about here, and then it gets a lot more tender through here and then down.
Let me take a look at it real quick.
That's where the severe pain is every time, like right when you put pressure on everything on that area,
When we do that bothers you, huh?
Yes.
We can get you in for about 2 weeks of physical therapy, but obviously it would be so much better to have more than that. I would not recommend you go in 2 weeks to do this climb. You obviously are at risk because of your situation with spraining your ankles.
Are you thinking about canceling the trip?
I think I need to think long and hard about it. I mean, the ultimate goal is to get to the top and not just show up, so I just gotta attack the physical therapy the best I can. And
It is unclear whether Bonner's feet and legs will heal in time to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. He will need all the healing time he can get.
as we've been training for the last year, it seems that I take about twice as long to heal as a normal person. I feel it all, like just in here.
Okay.
That's where I feel it.
3. Keep your knees stable. 4.
Why I go out and do these things is that I want to show people that you shouldn't hold us to, a different caliber, and sometimes by doing that, you're actually hurting us because you're not pushing us, and if you don't push us, we're not able to get above the next level. Since Dr. Milhouse recommended that I go to physical therapy, it's definitely helping a bit, but I'm not noticing the improvement that I need to be at 100% when we go. At this juncture, I'm not sure what I'd do because I don't know what I would tell people.
12-year-old Bridget, who has CP, heard about Bonner's climb. Inspired to help, Bridget set up a lemonade stand to raise money for the center. In just a few short hours, she raised $700.
My friends came to get some lemonade and then they stayed and helped.
Yeah? Don't give up. I promise I won't. I'll get to the summit. So that's what I can promise you. But I'll be thinking about you along the trip. I know I'm really far away, but we'll definitely. It's amazing all these other kids that I've met since then they're just such light bulbs of energy. They're what give me inspiration. I'll go climb this mountain. I'll make it. And I'll do it for all of them, but yeah, I'll think of Jacob Hurst. The last donation that came across before we left for Kilimanjaro was from Steve. It just said that, just remember that Jake will be with you and that you'll always carry a piece of Jake with you.
The team flies into Arusha, Tanzania. Bonner and his climbing team have 2 days to acclimate to the higher altitudes of Arusha and the jet lag from 30 hours of flying. They also have an opportunity to explore their new surroundings.
I'm trying not to think about my legs. We're here. There's nothing I can kind of really do about them, but try to mentally block it out. The Cultural Center was a lot of fun because it was the first time that we all went out and were able to like joke around and have a little fun. Definitely the highlight of the trip so far was going to this school for kids with disabilities. The principal was very nice and, you know, very welcoming to us. Good.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. This is our students. Students, they come from all parts of Tanzania.
Gina Langu Bonner.
Yes. And you?
Barbara.
Okay, please. Talk to the guest.
Gina Langu Bonner. Something that I really wanted to do, to understand, you know, how the system works here for kids with disabilities. That school helps them get ready for some jobs that they would potentially be able to make a living. Hey, Asante. Thank you. These are braces. They're soft casts made of fiberglass, and then they got padding inside. Heel Sport from our trip up Whitney. Unfortunately, I damaged tendons and have deep bone bruises in my ankles. That's gonna make for some good tan lines. Dude, so glad. Ready to go. I've had enough of the city. We got plenty of city back home.
Of the many routes to the summit of Kilimanjaro, the 8-day Shira route is one of the most scenic, but also most difficult. The team will begin climbing at 8,800 feet and make their way halfway around the mountain as they gain over 10,000 feet to reach the summit. Leading the climb is team leader Tim Geis, who has summited Kilimanjaro twice before. 2 local guides, Moody and Bariki, who have led climbers to the top dozens of times. Nurse practitioner Shirley, or Turtle.
Doing a trip like this, you don't ever want to do it by yourself. So I brought a group of friends to help me stay positive and keep my sense of humor. There's Jason Dilworth, who's always joking around. We call him Dilly. There's Paul, who's an ex-Army Ranger. There's Rick, who bought a ticket to the wrong continent, but somehow made it here. We call him Magellan. And Nancy, who's an expert on dealing with animal confrontations. We call her Crash Position.
The team climbs from 8,800 to 10,000 feet.
Feel nervous, but good. I'm glad it's finally here, and no turning back now.
Who's for the wheel? Fly away.
I'm gonna go. Come on, 5,000. Come on. I'll take L. Please, L. The name, I have no idea. Base Camp 1. Let's go with Base Camp 1.
When the clouds clear from the summit, the team realizes the huge task ahead.
That's a long way up, man.
But are you sure you want to do this?
Sure, I guess.
Why without limits, right?
Oh, man.
I'm starting to think there's some limits.
That is so far up there. It's too big. It's going to be a tough challenge. What do we get? Whose idea was this anyways? It was my idea.
After a fairly comfortable day of climbing, the team is caught unprepared when the sun sets and the mountain temperature plunges below freezing. They can expect similar temperatures and discomfort for the rest of the climb. At breakfast on day 2, Nancy informs Bonner that under the circumstances, she cannot continue.
She felt the altitude was already affecting her, so she could only imagine what it'd be like every day from here on out.
On day 2, the team settles into a steady climbing rhythm and begins to really take in the beauty of Kilimanjaro. It's crucial for the team to climb slowly to allow their bodies to acclimate as they gain altitude. The guides are always setting the pace. Pole, pole, they say, over and over. In Swahili, this means slowly, slowly.
If you climb too fast, the altitude will claim you. Pole pole definitely takes some getting used to. At the end of day 2, our spirits are high, we're feeling good. Day 2, that's a wrap. And we've got our own little Kili salute or whatever it is, so it makes me laugh a little bit.
Boom, boom. Oh, forgot the eagle. Boom.
Every night, Bonner calls home from a satellite phone to update his family and friends on his progress.
What we say out here in Swahili too, when you meet somebody, you say Mambo! Right now I am the Uno card champion, 3 out of 4 games, so I just want to let you know that I'm going to start the Uno tour when I get back, and I see a bright future in mine after these mountain climbings.
Yeah? Yeah! That's good! Listen into us.
When you have this many.
Building on 2 successful days of climbing, the team is poised to make huge gains on day 3. They will start at 12,600 feet and gain almost 3,000 feet. They will gain more altitude today than the first 2 days and break the halfway point at 15,400 feet. They will pass from the moorlands into a new climate, the high desert, which features volatile weather, extreme temperature shifts, and unique lava rock formations.
How's the first half of day 3 going for you?
The gloves are off. They're done. It's hard. My legs hurt, my ankles hurt, my legs are swollen, my ankles are swollen, my boots hurt, braces aren't helping.
It's just intense. For 2 hours straight, we went almost vertical. So, just taking a 5-minute break so everybody can stretch their back out. What do you think, Bonner? Enough said.
There you go.
The mountain has more challenges in store for the team. Halfway up to base camp, the temperature drops 30 degrees.
I'm definitely worried what would happen if another one of our team members goes down. At this height, there really isn't an easy way to get someone evacuated out.
I actually felt the altitude. On day 3, it was really painful. It felt like somebody just stuck my head in a vise.
Unfortunately, I'm having really bad problems with my right leg. It's moved to the balls of my foot, I think because I'm overcompensating. Yeah.
Okay. It's hurting a lot here. Your ankles are kind of swollen. Do you feel like you're just you're walking differently then to bear that?
It's continuing to get just a little worse each day.
No worries.
Every team member suffers the nauseating effects of low oxygen tonight. The team is in bad shape on day 4.
Yeah, everybody was quiet and out of it at breakfast.
Facing this unexpected setback, the team retreats 2,000 feet down the mountain in order to regroup. On the mountain, altitude sickness can strike anyone with little warning. As the body struggles to acclimate to air with less and less oxygen, bodily functions can shut down. The only treatment is to descend. In the worst cases, altitude sickness can be deadly. Each year, about 10 people die trying to reach the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro.
The magnitude of a climb like this, it's not just one thing that I'm worried about, it's a combination of all of my fears and weaknesses, and this mountain has all of them. It's the distance, it's the altitude, it's my legs, it's balance. Any one of these things could potentially end my climb, but if you combine them all together, what if it's too much for me to handle?
As the team recovers, they pass from high desert back to the moorlands. The higher oxygen levels at the lower altitude should allow their bodies to generate more red blood cells to process oxygen more efficiently. The hope is that the next time they're at 15,000 feet, their bodies will be equipped to overcome the challenges of the mountain.
I seem to be a little bit stronger on the descents than the ascent, so.
Day 5 brings an unexpected obstacle. Hiding behind a cloud next to their camp is the Barranco Wall.
I just don't want to be logjam on a ledge. Yeah. I just want to be moving, you know, like once you get a rhythm. A little bit nervous, but yeah. I thought I did a lot of research and talked to a lot of people, but nobody ever told me that there's gonna be a 1,000-foot vertical cliff that we had to go up. Apparently I won't be able to use my poles, which obviously makes up for my lack of balance.
The Barranco Wall is so narrow that it must be scrambled up single file and without walking poles. There is no roping and no harnessing. A wrong step would drop Bonner 1,000 feet into the creek below. One of the porters, Minja, is assigned to shadow Bonner in case he loses his balance. Several times, Minja catches Bonner when he nearly falls.
Barranco Wall, my new favorite.
Being behind him, I could see that he had a couple of times where he was getting ready to fall over.
Started slipping on my grip, and then I just feel Minja's like huge hand come up and prevent me from falling off the rock. Getting over Barranco Wall definitely has added confidence to make the attempt at summit. I am grateful that I trained so hard for a year. Minja caught me a couple times. He should be a wide receiver. Felt good to know that he was there.
After tackling the Barranco Wall, the day is not even half over. The team must take on 3 steep ridges and valleys. This is the longest and most challenging day of climbing so far.
A couple of images that have really gotten my attention. Once we started coming around the mountain, you could really see how the volcano, when it erupted, it created these huge crevasses. Just to see the rock formations and the cliffs and the vegetation, and there's still streams coming through here from the glaciers on top. You have to climb this mountain to see that.
Last valley, that was a huge valley. I was expecting it to be kind of like the first 2 or 3 valleys, but that last one was really steep down and it was really steep back up. I have a bruising pain on the balls of my feet because my toes curl under and I'm trying to overcompensate for my damaged tendons.
I think we're just all a little antsy. It's the big question mark. You know, I think we have 36 hours until go time.
I think someday, no doubt, we'll crush everything combined and then some. Me and my main man over here, Minja, we're going to the top tonight. We're going to the summit, huh, Minja? Minja, right? Hello, Minja.
Hello, how are you?
We going to the summit tonight?
Ja, Paul
Yeah, there we go. Thought someone turned the off button on you, buddy. I was going to pull the cord in the back.
On day 6, the team climbs 2 hours to final base camp to eat lunch. They must conserve energy for their attempt at the summit.
How are the legs feeling? Silver lining in the cloud, they're not worse than they were yesterday. How's that? 4,000 feet tonight. I'm trying to compensate for the damaged tendons in my ankles. So now the bruising on the balls of my feet are what are causing a lot of the pain.
The team will set out for the summit at midnight. Nighttime climbing is supposed to offer stabler weather conditions and ensure that the team summits with plenty of daylight left for descending safely. However, for Bonner, night climbing presents a major concern. Bonner cannot balance well in the dark since he depends on his vision to orient himself.
On the top. On the top. We're all gonna make it.
9 fine. 9 fine to the top.
If we had something to drink, we could cheers to that.
For Bonner, it's mental and internal, and I don't think there's anything that's going to stop him from reaching the top of this.
The times that I've really struggled, I've always thought of the kids. That's the closest thing to my heart in terms of why I'm doing this. They always say that they would never be let down, but I feel like I've let them down.
The team goes to their tents to take a nap, but nobody sleeps much. They will wake up at midnight for the biggest test of endurance in their lives. Bonner developed cerebral palsy when he was deprived of oxygen during birth. Tonight, in total darkness, he will hurdle through an oxygen-thin challenge of his own creation to climb 4,000 feet through the sub-zero temperatures until he summits Kilimanjaro. If he makes it, he will overcome his greatest fears. The fear of losing his balance in the dark, the fear of his weak lower body, and the fear of letting down the children who look up to him.
I don't know what the temperature is outside, but everything is frozen in my tent. I get in line behind our head guide, and Minja is behind me to catch me again if necessary. I've been climbing for 20 minutes, and I don't see how there's any way I'm making it to the top if I'm this tired already. The wind was whipping so bad that bits of rocks were hitting us in the face.
In the darkness, there is no way for the team to see how far they've gone or how far there is left to go. After hours, the effect is maddening. The team splits up, and Bonner falls behind.
The mountain is just endless. I don't know where I'm at. I mean, Minja keeps asking me where we're at, and I say a mountain.
Bonner was supposed to beat the sunrise to the top of the mountain. Now the breaking dawn taunts him. He is hours behind the rest of the team, and his pace continues to slow.
I don't think I can do it. I can see that I have thousands of feet to go. I don't have anything in the tank. I mean, I have less than nothing. I just think of who this is gonna help. I mean, that's who I think of. And I'm thinking of Jake. And I can't let him down.
As half of the team looks down from Stella Point, they see Bonner in the distance coming up the last stretch.
The way he was dragging, it was slow and it was really hard for him, but he was pushing. And when he finally got up there, he kind of leaned his head into my chest, and I started crying. I know he was very emotional.
Well done. Well done.
A more gradual 700-foot climb brings the team to the official highest point in Africa, Uhuru Peak.
We didn't even talk about this. When we got about 20 feet from the sun, the highest point, we all just kind of sat back and let Bonner keep walking.
From the summit, the glaciers of Kilimanjaro are a breathtaking view. In the other direction is the giant crater.
I just want to thank everybody for their support and everything. Now all we have to do is make it down the mountain today. But I love you all. I miss you a ton, and I am looking forward to coming home and celebrating with everybody.
After descending 10,000 feet, the team soaks in the abundant oxygen. For Bonner, getting to the top solidifies a new confidence in his mental and physical strength. In the weeks since returning to the U.S., Bonner received hundreds of notes and letters from people inspired by his journey, including many from children with disabilities and their families.
My friends they adore you. They love you.
Really?
They want to be like you.
Faith takes on her own mountain every day. And this center is going to get her and other kids with disabilities to the top.